Draft Rankings family, welcome back to the short shows with yours truly, Cody Carpentier, here on podcast and on YouTube. We started about a year ago, right after the Super Bowl, doing these short videos where they were sub 10 minutes, and we just hit it hard, one topic, maybe two, and we got through it in less than 10 minutes. I got to give a shout out to my man Theo Greminger, who's now with Fantasy Points. He was with Player Profile at the time, but we talked about this when we were in Mobile a year ago about this show format. And I absolutely love it. Now, if you've been listening to the show for the last 6 months, we've been doing weekly shows with myself and Matty Kiwoom, where we are more of like a 45-minute layout. That's going to continue. We're going to keep doing that on Monday and Wednesday, where it's a 45-minute show format or around that time. And we're going to, talk deeper into the entire format of the draft and whatnot. But I'm going to try to push to do these shows on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, the 10-minute versions. And I might even push into Saturday a few weeks. But all the pods will come up the day after, but they will be in YouTube at 7 p.m. each day. So it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 7 p.m. And then a podcast will be the following morning at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., whenever you wake up, it'll be there. So there's that. We're back full time every single day of the week, potentially on the weekends. Brought to you by Alpha Seasoning, which is mine and Alex Dunlap, who I work with at Roster Watch. That's our seasoning, alphaseasoning.com. You can get our Longhorn Dust. You can get our Alpha Elite Seasoning over there until the end of the Super Bowl. We're running a promo for 20% off all spices. So those are our two spices. The Longhorn Dust is primarily a rub and a seasoning for red meat, and that you can still use it on other stuff. But then the Alpha Seasoning, the Alpha Spice, the original, is what I like on everything, whether it's potatoes or it's chicken thighs or it's edamame, you name it. I'm putting it on eggs, everything. Red meat, I want more Longhorn Dust. That's salt, pepper, garlic. So you can go check that out. Promo code Super Bowl, all capitals, to get 20% off alphaseasoning.com. What I'm going to talk about today is the running back class. There's a massive problem in the 2027. There's a massive problem in the 2026 draft class. 2027 is going to be sick. I have that on my mind if you couldn't tell. There's a massive problem in the 2026 running back group, and its depth and its top-end talent. Everybody knows the name Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame. Everybody knows that name. It's been around for 2 years, 2.5 years of that dude's going to be the dude. The problem is the other names that were in this conversation: Nick Singleton from Penn State, Katron Allen to a certain extent, Jaden Ott from Oklahoma, who has been dealing with injuries. Le'Veon Moss has been in that conversation here and there. There's been a couple of other names that have just kind of regressed or went back to school or have transferred 4 times or, excuse me, I might have just burped, or just it's going back to school or came out early last year. And when you look at this year's class compared to the 2025 group, that's when you realize what depth you're missing or what density of the group you're missing. So 1 year ago, we saw 25 running backs get drafted in round 1 through 7. 6 in the 7th round, 4 in the 6th, 3 in the 3rd. But the bulk of this and the importance is round 1 through 4. There was 12 players drafted at the running back position. Ashton Jeanty, Omari Hampton, Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson, studs, right? R.J. Harvey, Caleb Johnson, Bashal Tootin, Cam Scattaboo, Trevor Etienne, Woody Marks, Jarquez Hunter, Dylan Sampson. A lot of very good players. And even like Ollie Gordon, we loved Ollie Gordon, but he wasn't drafted till the 6th round. Damian Martinez, Kyle Monangai broke out this year. The problem with the 2026 draft class at the running back position is depth and top-end talent. Right now, if you use the NFL Mock Draft database, there's currently 5. There's 5 players projected in the top 100 selections, which is round 1, 2, 3. Right? A year ago, that number was 6, but it was superstar talent. I'm not sure all 6 of these names, or all 5 of these names, Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, both from Notre Dame, Jonah Coleman from Washington, Emmett Mosley from Nebraska, Nick Singleton from Penn State, and then Katron's 102. Katron's also from Penn State. None of these guys outside of Love are even in the category or the conversation of what tier 1 and 2 was last year with Genty, Hampton, Judkins, Henderson. And Love is sick, but Love is not Genty. Love is really not, for me, quite Hampton. And, there's a conversation about the Judkins, Henderson thing, but Jeremiah Love's really good. He's going to be a top 20 pick. But after that's the problem. Who's the running back 2? And we're going to be talking about who the running back 2 is for the next, 2.5 months. Is it Emmett Johnson, the running back from Nebraska, who had 297 touches this last year? But I'm worried he's going to weigh 195 pounds, 194 pounds at the combine. What's that going to do? I'm not sure he's a 4.39 guy. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Bucky Irving. Elite pass catcher, over 80 balls the last 2 years. He was the McCaffrey of the Nebraska offense. To me, that's not a top 2 round running back. Jonah Coleman, the BMI is going to be outlandish. He's going to have a 99th percentile BMI. He's 5'8", 5'9", 228 pounds. Didn't show up to the Senior Bowl. Does he know he's the next running back? I think he should have. Nick Singleton broke his foot at the Senior Bowl. And he was, at one point, look, this guy's going to be pretty clearly the running back 2, if not the running back 1. This is before Jeremiah Love kind of took over. Katron Allen took over that Penn State backfield this year, while Nick Singleton didn't really play as well as he did in previous years. And then you have the Jadarian Price problem with Notre Dame, who has less than 300 carries on his body in 3 years at Notre Dame. A lot of tread on those tires. Downhill back, 210 pounds. Interesting, but is he a running back 2? He might have to be. And then you have this other problem. And again, I'm talking about depth. The depth falls off so fast. This is a lot of fine running backs. I like Jamari Taylor from Virginia. I like Rasul Faison from South Carolina. He's 26. He turns 26 in a couple of weeks. I like Adam Randall from Clemson. He's played running back for 1 year. 1 in his life. 1 year. Le'Veon Moss can't stay healthy. I like Le'Veon Moss can't stay healthy. Mike Washington is the fly in the ointment. The running back from Arkansas who had an elite week in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. 6 foot, half inch, 228 pounds. But again, he's going to be 25 on the 3rd of July. 25. He will hit the age apex for the running back position in November or December, 25 and a half. His rookie season, he'll hit the age apex. Mike Washington, for all intents and purposes, from the Senior Bowl to the tape, is the running back 2 in the 2026 NFL draft class. That's where we're at. And that's not a bad thing about Mike Washington. It says more about the class as a whole. He's currently mocked 127th overall right now on NFL Mock Draft Database on February 3rd. He's going to make a lot of money because of it. This class lacks true depth through the top to the bottom. It lacks elite talent depth in the first 4 rounds. And it kind of lacks anything past Jeremiah Love for top-end talent, like anything we've seen before. I guess the conversation would be, is it comparable to the Brooks year where it was like Jonathan Brooks is the guy if he doesn't have the ACL, he's the guy, right? Trey Benson ended up getting drafted well. You had Shipley, you had Blake Corn, you had Braylon Allen in that class, things of that nature. Bucky Irving ends up being the best running back from the group. It's going to be interesting. We're going to talk about it for the next 2.5 months here at the Draft Rankings. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Click that like button. Click subscribe. And if you got fantasy stuff, I feel bad for you if you're looking for a running back. But if you're the NFL, somebody's going to make a very good draft pick in round 3 or round 4 in Mike Washington from Arkansas.